property market currently at a record high, it is vital to stay one step ahead of your competition when selling your house. I'm giving 3 sellers the chance to snoop around each other's houses.
A lovely bright room.
Avocado, beautiful.
For goodness sake, you don't have a fish tank in your kitchen.
To see what they can do to make their homes more appealing to our potential buyer.
I was just thinking my son would love this.
The initial impression is good.
Yes.
Excellent, that's what we'd like to see. Today, fierce fighting talk.
Don't like the house, a bit twee.
Someone without a dog, they're going to be really upset about that, so that needs to be dealt with.
Reality bites.
Oh, God, it's making me want to heave.
And a battle on my hands. Just pretend that I am somebody trying to buy this house. You can do that one.
I can do that, possibly, if I have to.
Today, I'm helping 3 homeowners trying to sell their houses in the Hertfordshire town of St Albans. They're all competing with each other in the hope of getting an offer from market stall trader Lawrence and his wife, who, with their kids having left home, are looking to downsize. He's got a budget of £400,000. So, Lawrence, this is the start of you living the dream. And what are you looking for?
3/4 bedrooms. Nice house, nice garden, nice views.
Perfect. So the budget is up to £400,000, isn't it? Now, does that include work?
I don't really want a property that people have done up. I prefer the one that hasn't got the new kitchen for £350, that we can do the work on it.
Now, there's somebody missing, your missus, because she's working today, isn't
yes.
she? Does she trust you to go out and look at properties?
Oh, yeah. But then at the end of the day, we'll make the decision between the 2 of us.
Right. Have you got to chuck a lot of stuff out?
I'll be putting them on the back of my Reliant Robin.
I was going to say, your
After a
market
boot sale.
stall. Your market stall's going to have all your own stuff on it. Who wants a sofa? Talking of market stalls, any little phrases that we should be thinking about throughout this journey?
Let your eyes be your guide.
Let your eyes be your guide.
And the money the last thing you part with.
OK. We'll keep those 2 in mind then while we're going around. I've lined up 3 fantastic houses for him to look at, but before he does, our sellers get the chance to size up the competition and find out where their strengths and weaknesses lie. Our first seller is 58-year-old recruitment consultant and animal lover Maureen, who spent the last 15 years raising her 2 children in her 3-bedroom bungalow. Our buyer Lawrence is used to bungalow living, but Maureen's comes with something extra, a pool.
When I first came to view this place, the sun was shining into the room, the pool was reflecting off of the ceiling, and it just felt like a holiday home. It felt like I was in a villa in Spain.
The African decor has been inspired by Maureen's trips to visit relatives in Kenya, but what really dominates is her massive collection of animals.
At the moment, living here, 4 sausage dogs, 3 cats, 2 lizards, and a whole collection of crickets to feed the lizards. So we are a bit of a menagerie here. It is a zoo and a complete madhouse. My dogs are my passion and love them to bits, so they are... Oh, well, I think they run the house, actually.
Maureen's semi-detached bungalow has the 3 bedrooms Lawrence is after. While the swimming pool could either tempt him to take the plunge or completely put him off, it's 20 grand under his budget at £380,000. Next, a retired couple, Len and Pauline, who've lived in their 3-bedroom semi-detached house for the last 38 years. While they've updated the decor in the bedrooms, downstairs Pauline's gone for what she calls her regal feel.
Well, we like to feel that if anybody knocked at the door or something, even if it was the Queen, I would be able to invite her in and she could have a cup of tea here quite happily, and even if she wasn't feeling very well, I'd be quite happy saying to her, did she want to lay down in one of my bedrooms?
That's a whole new meaning to a queen-size bed. Downstairs, they're definitely one for home comforts.
Well, I've always felt that a home should have nice warm carpets, a bit of colour. I'm possibly one of these people that likes the standards that I can't have, but I do my best with what I've got.
Champagne lifestyle and a brown ale income.
Len and Pauline's post-war semi could be the perfect match for Lawrence. It has the 3 bedrooms and traditional decor, and it's on the market at £375,000. My final sellers are Alison and Nathan. They bought the semi-detached 3-bedroom house they share with their 2 boys 10 years ago and set about decorating it in their signature modern style.
We stayed here for as long as we have because we just love the house, we love the road, we love the outlook. We love the space.
I think its biggest feature is downstairs it's open plan, which we really like. It works for us with the kids. And yeah, there's just a lot of room.
The ever-growing amount of family stuff means the garden room cum office has had to accommodate the overspill of clutter.
Unfortunately, that office has now just become like a bit of a gigantic cupboard. And it is a bit of a dumping ground.
Yeah.
And it could be a really good space.
Alison and Nathan's spacious house has 3 bedrooms and the added bonus of a garden room. It's on the market for just under £400,000. So it's Maureen's bungalow with the pool, Len and Pauline's post-war semi, and Alison and Nathan's open-plan family house, all competing for My Buyer Lawrence. All 3 sellers now have the chance to check out their rivals' houses. Forewarned is forearmed, so they should have a much clearer idea of what they need to do to stay ahead of the competition and get a sale. First, we're at Maureen's bungalow. If I'm honest, Maureen's house feels a little bit like Noah's Ark. There are an awful lot of animals in there, and while the swimming pool could be a fantastic selling point, in its current unloved state, it's more likely to put potential buyers off rather than making them want to buy it. First up is Alison and Nathan.
Don't like the house. Just looks it's a bit twee.
Well, it's a
But it's a big
bungalow.
plot.
Yeah.
A bungalow, I can see from the outside, it's not going to be for me. It's all according to what's on the inside.
Yeah, see?
It's hard to say from out here.
Well, in you go for a closer look then.
If I was seriously having to look at this to live in, it would have to be gutted. To anybody that's not a cat lover, that would have to go.
Oops, no better inside.
This is a pet's home. This is not a home, this is just a pet's home.
There's a smell. It's the animal smell. That's what
Yeah,
we were
you
trying to
can
avoid.
smell the
I mean, we've got
animals.
dogs, but
Yeah.
that's
Can smell
it's
the
really hard, isn't it? Definitely move the bird cage if you're having people over to see the house.
Well, I would, yeah.
Yeah. And the Cat Olympics, get rid of that as well.
So far, so bad in the sitting room, and there's more than they bargained for in the bedroom.
Oh, God, no. What is in them? Is it insects, rats, or what?
Some
No,
kind,
I'm
isn't
not
it?
coming in. Oh, no, I'm not going in that. Oh, God, it's making me want to heave.
Think that makes the point that pets don't win prizes when it comes to selling. No one is seeing Maureen's house as competition, but let's not forget the pool, though.
My goodness.
Wow, it's higher than the house.
I think that actually will put a lot of people off.
Uh-oh.
This paving is all higgledy-piggledy for a start, and there's no rail to get into it. I certainly, if I was a family looking to buy, I'd fill it in. It looks a mess, quite frankly.
So it's another thumbs down. Time to see what they'll make of Maureen's £380,000 price tag.
No, I'm sorry.
380,000.
For that, I would pull it down and rebuild a new one.
Yeah.
They think it's Saint-Tropez because they've got a pool. They think.
I don't know. I don't know if you would get a lot of interest at that price.
No.
So both sets of sellers are feeling confident that their houses are in the lead. Next, we're at Len and Pauline's 3-bedroom post-war semi. Len and Pauline have lived in their home for nearly 40 years, and unfortunately some of the decor is beginning to look a little tired. But with a bit of updating, it does have the potential to make somebody a fantastic family home. Well, let's see how first impressions go down.
Ah, I don't like all the flowers out the front. It's too chintzy for me.
That's the outside. How about the inside?
Oh wow.
It feels a lot smaller than ours, doesn't it?
Yes. It's
Busy.
busy, quite loud, quite dated.
I like the size of the rooms, but if I were to move in here, it would probably have to be totally redecorated. I don't like all the patterns, I'm afraid. I noticed they've put a splash of mauve in here, mauve, which makes it even more important to get rid of this pattern.
So Maureen's still dissing the decor, but I hope Alison and Nathan can see how clutter can shrink a space.
You can't really see how much space you've got. This makes it look smaller.
Yeah.
And actually, this could be a really lovely big area.
They could really transform the space
they
just
could.
by taking half of it out.
Yeah, they could.
It hasn't got any weeds and It is quite nice and tidy and clean. And I don't know if I should say, but it hasn't got any dog poo like mine does.
At least Maureen is seeing the benefits of having no pets around.
375,000. I would have thought it'd have been a bit more. That surprises me. Then I think that's a really good price for it.
It's about 20 grand more than I thought.
Yeah. But
That makes ours good value.
I think ours is good value compared to that.
So where Maureen feels it could be competition, Alison and Nathan are still confident that theirs is the best. But at least they're learning something. For Alison and Nathan, the advantages of decluttering, and for Maureen, the need to transform her garden. Finally, we're at Alison and Nathan's open plan family home. They're not making the most of one of their biggest assets, which is their garden office. They do, however, have a very modern and contemporary home, which might give the other sellers some food for thought. And first to take a look is Maureen.
I like this. I think it's better than mine from the outside. Definitely.
Positive vibes from Maureen. I hope they continue inside.
Oh, yes. This is lovely.
While she's enjoying the clean, modern feel,
This is what I hope to move to, something like this. Fabulous.
it seems Len and Pauline aren't impressed with what they come face to face with.
Oh my God.
Oh,
The freezer's in the lounge.
Found some dog poo. Someone without a dog, they're going to be really upset about that, so that needs to be dealt with.
A bit of dog poo is nothing compared to the zoo in your house. Next, they snoop around the garden room.
Wasted well, they obviously
well,
need it
again,
for...
is it wasted? Our garage is just full of clutter and rubbish, isn't it? I mean, what do
they
you do with
haven't
it?
got one, have they?
You're not going to come up here every day and use the garden,
no,
the Wendy house, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So, not necessarily wasted. They've got their clutter in it, which is what we do. So, no.
Yeah, for
but
them, I
it's a nice
suppose it's a
place.
bonus.
Ah. Oh, I could do a lot with this. You could actually market this house, I think, as having an outside office.
Maureen's right. With some TLC, this extra room in the garden could be a far bigger draw for potential buyers. Mixed thoughts from the sellers. So how will Alison and Nathan's price tag of just under £400,000 go down?
Our house is 25,000 cheaper than this. At that level, why isn't our house selling?
I think that's too much. That surprises me. I think that's quite high.
So all three sellers have plenty to think about. I'm in St Albans, where our buyers Lawrence and his wife Kim are looking to downsize now their children have left home.
We want to be mortgage-free because, we've worked all our lives and really just want a kind of a life now.
I've lined up 3 potential properties that fit Lawrence's downsizing requirements. But before he takes a look, they've had a snoop around each other's houses. So our sellers have seen the competition for themselves, and they now have 1 week and £1,000 to make the changes they need to tempt our buyer Lawrence.
My thoughts at this stage is that I live in a mansion compared to what I've just seen today.
If a buyer came into those 3 houses, I can't see that they would choose these over ours.
To compete, I need to minimalise my house completely.
I'm glad Maureen's realised she needs to minimalise her house, but I want to make sure she knows just how much. Now, you have a lot of animals, and it is something that the other sellers picked up on, that they felt it was more of a home for animals than it was for people.
Oh dear.
Maybe one of the bedrooms where the lizard lives, think about putting all the dogs' baskets in there, so it's more contained.
I think that's quite a good idea, because also I have noticed that you can get a bit of a dog smell as well.
So far, so good on the pets front. Now that African decor.
I've tried to get a sort of ethnic African, warm, earthy feel.
I can see where you're coming from, because I look at the curtains and I look at the sofa and I look at the rug, and they're all a similar colour palette and they're all a similar pattern. I feel that maybe the walls, maybe look at painting them a sort of beigey colour or a more neutral colour, just to lighten it up a little bit. Declutter it, pare it back a bit, repaint the walls, send the bird on holiday.
I will try it, most definitely. I'll give it a go.
Yeah, nothing too major. Maureen's got some work to do on the interior of her home, but there's one thing that could be a real draw for buyers, but right now it's failing to sell the house at all. Swimming pools can either be a fantastic selling point or they can be a bit of something that will put people off. As it is, it's a great size pool and it's in a good area, and you've still got this space in the garden as well that you can use. What this outside needs is a major tidy up. A lot of these paving stones are uneven and are cracked. Just pretend that I am somebody trying to buy this house. So I walk out here and I think that's a great pool, but it's so bitty out here that it must mean that it takes a lot to keep it up. What you want to create out here is a kind of area that people will come out to and think, wow, imagine what this place is going to be like in the summer.
That's exactly what I need.
Yeah, and at the moment they come out and think, I'm going to tread in some dog poo and that pool needs a good clean.
Yes.
I've been harsh but fair. I just hope Maureen has taken on what I'm saying. Maureen has a very unique selling point with that swimming pool, but she does face some very stiff competition with the other two properties, so she really needs to bring that area back to life. She also needs to do something about all of those animals. And that's exactly where she starts. Accompanied by her son's partner, Lindsay, Maureen decides to replace those smelly dog beds.
Oh, this is it. This is what I'm looking for.
For Maureen's 4 sausage dogs, the beds have to be the right size.
I think the front bit where they climb in is too high because they've only got the little legs.
That's quite cool, actually.
I think that's the one. I like that. I really like that. OK, brilliant. Good.
On her way out, something else catches her eye.
Oh, look at this one. Pet odour remover. That's the one. Thanks. Bye. Bye-bye.
Talking of removing, back home, Maureen is taking down the cat totem pole.
And what we do is we put it in the middle of the room and take it apart bit by bit. Gosh, it's really heavy.
The cockatiel's staying with her brother for a while, so when it's safely placed in the back of the car, Maureen helps lift the cage into the boot.
Right, there we go. So you're ready to go on holiday.
Next, it's Len and Pauline's. They didn't think much of the competition, so it's down to me to give them a few home truths. I've had a good look around, as have the other sellers. Some of the feedback that they've come back with is that upstairs is beautiful. Downstairs just feels a tad opulent, but slightly dated, if you don't mind me saying so.
No, that's fine.
We were working our way down the house. We were going to get to this when we decided to sell. So this was the next bit on the list to be done.
Your bottom doesn't match your top. And to get the buyers through the door, I think it needs to. I think the wallpaper has to go, as much as I know it's going to pain you to do it, Pauline. And I would suggest a very neutral palette through here.
There is a bit of a drawback. The quality of the plastering in this room is not good. So, yes. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. And that's what we did in the bedrooms.
All going well so far. They're keen to update the sitting room, but let's see how it goes in the kitchen. What do you think I'm going to say about it?
Lose the wallpaper.
The comments that we have from the other sellers is it's just too busy, there's too much going on. You've got mosaic black tiles, you've got swirly purple tiles, and you've got all this wallpaper. It's probably not the sort of kitchen you want to come in with a hangover. It is a little bit...
If we take the wallpaper off, the plaster in here is worse than in there. It is dreadful.
Well, if the plasterers are needed in the sitting room, they could always do in here at the same time. It's something to ponder on while you're stripping the wallpaper next door. You ready for this? Come on, you've got to sell it. We've got to get this house sold. I think the hardest part of this entire process won't be the stripping and replastering of the walls. I think it's going to be for Pauline to let go of her very distinctive style and embrace a more neutral colour palette. But the house hasn't sold, so maybe it's time for something completely different.
I'm fired with enthusiasm, actually. I'm eager to get going. I'm all up for this, definitely.
Oh, that's great.
I'm devastated.
Not quite the positivity that I was hoping for. To appeal to buyers, I think Len and Pauline need to replace their outdated sitting room carpet, which they've had for years. But to convince them, I need to find her something equally hard-wearing. Let me show you some of the different options that you can have. Now, this is very similar to the ones that you've got upstairs, isn't it? This, look at Pauline's face. It's like the complete opposite to what you've got now. But you know that the very fashionable sort of seagrass and the coir that you can care.
but it looks more hard-wearing than...
Yeah, it's something that you could go... It's something to consider.
It
It's
looks
a bit
like
doormat.
a wicker basket.
Yeah, it's a bit doormat, isn't it, really?
No.
No?
No.
I like this one. I think this one would work really well in here. Now, something like this will retail round about £7-8 a square metre. So you do have a lot to put down here, but I do think it will make a big difference.
I could live with this one, but that to me strikes as cold.
Right.
It looks like the beach.
Okay.
I don't like that one.
But you can do that one.
I can do that one, possibly, if I have to.
So they might still be deciding over the carpet, but at least the wallpaper's going.
It took at least 2 months to hang this wallpaper. It wasn't the easiest of things to hang.
Everything that I liked about this room has now gone. Got to move on, I suppose, if we want to sell, which we do. Oh, it's quite sad, really.
Finally, I'm off to see Alison and Nathan, and I'm hoping they're still intent on dealing with their clutter. So when you had a look at the other sellers' houses, what did you learn from those?
Well, we learnt about clutter, that you know, about how you can... Perhaps the rooms can look a lot smaller than perhaps they
If
need.
you've got lots of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a relief. The two areas that I noticed as soon as I walked in is this area.
Yeah.
And the fact you've got a fridge in your hallway. Or a freezer.
It's sort of on its way into the garden shed, but it's never quite made it there.
Yeah. I mean, it is something that the other sellers picked up on when they came in. They said, why have they got a fridge or a freezer in the hallway? The fridge freezer suggests the place is too small and will send the wrong message to buyers. You need to give the appearance of sleek lines, lots of storage. And that does not say lots of storage. First of all, declutter it. Get as much of it out as you possibly can.
Okay.
And then go somewhere like a reclamation yard, a junk shop, second-hand shop, and see if you can find some kind of cabinet that would fit in there. Now, onto that extra room in the garden. The thing is, these sort of rooms, these garden rooms, offices, dens, whatever you want to call them, are so popular now.
Yeah.
What's happened is it's just become a kind of dumping ground, hasn't it? And it smells a bit damp.
Yeah.
It does.
And the walls need redoing. What it is now is a glorified shed, isn't
Yes.
it? Effectively.
It is.
We did used to love this space. It was really nice once.
Can we inject some love back in here again then?
Yes.
Doable?
Yeah,
Doable.
I think so.
I'm looking at you, Mr. Ruthless, because I reckon you're going to come in here like a tornado and just get rid of the
That's
love.
all we're going to go.
Great. Nathan seems enthusiastic to roll up his sleeves and get stuck in.
I think the biggest job is going to be the office, clearing out everything and deciding, arguing over what we're keeping and what's going.
It sounds like they need an adjudicator to me. Strike while the iron's hot. Who wants to be the sentimental box and who wants to be the chuck it out box?
I'll be the thrower.
I'll be the keeper.
You'll be the sentimental one.
Those are
Okay,
fine.
right. So let's start CDs. Wheels on the bus?
Yeah, no, they can go.
Chuck?
Yeah. Really? Oh, good.
Kylie Minogue.
No, all of those CDs can go.
Atomic Kitten. That can definitely go.
Can go. They can both go.
Yeah?
Yeah, they can go.
I mean, that's still got the tags on.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know.
You're never going to use that,
No,
are you?
we're never going to use that.
So that can go.
And it's got no sentimental value because they've never ever worn it.
Is it going?
It's going to go.
Go on,
Come on.
Let me get it out of
It's
here.
going out
Let
of
me
here.
hit the space.
Yeah. Then the kids are at school.
Alison and Nathan have created a beautiful family home, but the trouble with open plan living is that everything has to have its place. So with a bit of reorganisation and a bit of a declutter, they'll hopefully get the sale they're after. In the Hertfordshire town of St Albans, 3 homeowners are competing with each other to sell their home to our buyer, Lawrence.
I'm looking for 3 bedrooms. I'd like to be able to extend if possible. With that potential, there's so many things you can do.
Having checked out each other's houses to compare the competition, Nathan and Alison are battling to chuck out their chintz. Is it going?
It's going to go.
Go on then.
Or are we just going to find another home for it?
We're going to get it out of
It's
here.
going out of here.
Whilst Len and Pauline are coming to terms with updating their sitting room.
I cannot believe my curtains are being used for duck sheets.
Having sent the pets on a long holiday, Maureen turns her attention to toning down her African theme.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic and relaxing, but I wouldn't recommend it more than once in a lifetime.
Outside, she's hired in gardener Darren to help with smartening up the pool area, and he's got his work cut out.
Difficulty with the actual stones themselves. None of them are particularly even. Nothing's particularly square, so it's trying to get everything looking as neat as possible without having to take everything apart and redo the whole lot.
It's costing her £460, but it's worth spending half her budget on. It's an arduous job when you're relaying slabs, but with a bit of manpower, anyone can do it. Lift up all of the wonky slabs, compress sand onto the area and level. Then you're ready to place the paving stones back down. A leveller for the weekend will cost you £45, and labour, if you're doing it yourself, free. When your fence is looking green and worn, instead of replacing it at a vast cost, hiring a jet washer for £15 a day will do the job. I think for a lot of people, if they're not very green-fingered, gardens tend to get quite neglected. So what sort of tips would you say to people, if they're not Monty Don, to make it look presentable?
Not to be scared of your garden. Consider it as another room. So clean, declutter, make everything look neat and tidy. You want it to look like an inviting place.
So clear out all the old plant pots, get rid of the weeds, get a jet washer. I guess if you just keep on top of it, it's not such a daunting prospect when you get out there and you can't see anything.
No, it's just really, the best thing to do is just keep sweeping.
Sort of 15
keep
minutes
looking
a day.
after it.
Yeah.
All three sellers are knuckling down, but it's only a matter of days until our buyer Lawrence takes a look at their properties, so there's no letting up if they want to beat the competition.
At Len and Pauline's, the wallpaper's off and Pauline can see the extent of work that needs to be done.
It's all a case of time, really. And I probably will like it once I get used to it. But I've just got to keep telling myself it's for somebody else and not for me.
But the walls aren't in the best of condition, and neither is the ceiling.
Main thing is the ceiling.
You don't want to keep that nice Artex, no?
No.
OK.
Nice Artex. It's a contradiction in terms, isn't it? No. Nice and Artex don't go together.
It's going to cost them an extra £570 to have the whole room skimmed, but the smooth finish will be worth every penny.
2 days we should do this whole room quite comfortably.
Plastering is a real art, and it's definitely a job worth paying for, not for the general DIYer. Whilst the walls are underway, it seems Pauline can't quite let go of that beloved carpet.
I've lost my wallpaper, and that's a big sacrifice. I'm sorry, the carpet stays.
Well, that's me told, and I don't see much happening in the kitchen either.
We think that the lounge should be the priority because it's the first room you see when you come into the house.
The kitchen is going to take second place at the moment, definitely.
It's such a shame Len and Pauline aren't transforming the kitchen too, as kitchens sell houses, and this wallpaper makes the room feel dated and cramped. At Alison and Nathan's, I'm glad to see they're adding a new lease of life to the garden room. Nathan's roped his friend in to help paint it a contemporary shade of clay.
What do you reckon of the colour, Pete?
Last comment. I think wait until it dries and see what it's like.
Wait until it dries. It's not going to change colour. You know, when you're just getting started, it's you need to see the whole thing painted.
Well, I think it looks very smart.
I like the colour. Do you like the colour?
We're not sure. The jury's still out on the colour.
I'm confident that painting the garden room will give it a new lease of life, and for just £46, you can't say fairer than that. Meanwhile, Alison is painting the inside of the garden room with slightly more urgency.
This has got to be painted and done because I mean, that would be crazy to put the carpet down and then carry on painting, although I bet that ends up happening.
People can pay between £3,500 to £45,000 for a garden room these days, so it's all worth the effort. Encouraged by the decluttering of the garden room, Alison and Nathan set about tackling the understairs storage.
We're going to get everything out and we're going to get rid of this unit, which has been useful but isn't very attractive. I have actually forgotten I had so many pairs of boots.
The only problem is what to throw and what to keep.
They've all got hats, scarves and gloves in. That's all those 3 top boxes.
Right, so what are you saying?
They're just unbelievable. And there's shoes that we didn't even know we had, coats we didn't know we had. It's just too much stuff.
Simple answer to that problem, chuck it all out.
The pile for throwing things away isn't very big, unfortunately. I think it should be bigger. He thinks it's all mine, but actually it's called being a family and having lots of stuff.
Over at Maureen, she's called in the troops to do the last finishing touches to the outside.
It seems like there's still such a lot to do. But I think we will get it done, but there is still a lot to do. I think I'm going to have to buy dinner for everyone.
Maureen's hard work has really paid off. Her sitting room was once filled with African memorabilia and pet life, but with a good declutter and a shade of grey on the walls, it's now a peaceful haven of tranquility and soft furnishings. It's transformed the place, hasn't it? It really has.
It really has, yeah, completely different.
Are your animals still talking to you? Do you still have all your animals?
The animals are really funny because they don't like sitting on the cold floor. Right. So they knock the scatter cushions off of the sofa.
And then sit on that.
And then sit on those.
You've done a cracking job, Maureen, you really have.
I'm really pleased with it, thank you.
Should we go out into the garden?
Oh, no, wait till you see the garden.
Yes, let's go look. The swimming pool area was a bit of a damp squib, but with a good clear up and the slabs relaid, it's a relaxing space you'd really want to take a dip in. What a difference a week makes. I bet you don't want to move now, do you?
Oh, it's absolutely fabulous. Yeah. It's really, really gorgeous.
I mean, you think back to what it was like with all the pots everywhere. Are you pleased with it?
I love it. I really do love it. Darren's done a fantastic job out here.
He really has. Really has. At Len and Pauline's, they can finally put their house back to rights.
Well, all we've got left to do now is the cleaning and put everything back into where it should be and try and make it presentable again.
And it's the final push to straighten out her newly decorated sitting room.
I'm quite happy now to let people to come and see my house as is. Let's hope they like it this time.
The sitting room was regal and dated, and although I'd have preferred the carpet to be gone, lightening up the walls with a fresh colour has made it reign supreme. I mean, I must say, walking in here, it has made a big difference. Just by moving the furniture and redoing the walls, it instantly feels brighter, fresher, much more modern.
Oh, thank you.
Pauline, how are you feeling?
I'm pleased with the result for the brightness, and I'm glad I've kept my carpet because I think with all this blandness, it needs the warmth from the red to bring it out.
OK, because the carpet was what I was about to move on to.
Yeah.
Why have you kept it? Was it a budget thing or was it a personal choice thing?
Yeah, no, it was a personal choice. We felt that first impressions coming into the room were more important, the walls and making it look bigger.
And you wanted to hang on to the carpet?
And I wanted to hang on to the carpet. Sorry, but...
It's your regal carpet, isn't it?
It is my bit of regency, yeah.
It's the last push at Alison and Nathan's. The carpet is being laid in the garden room, allowing them to move that carbuncle of a fridge.
As soon as Amanda's gone, we can stick it back.
Well, I am a bit grumpy about having to do this.
What I'm going to be annoyed about is when I want a Calippo, having to come up the garden in the pouring rain to get a Calippo.
It's a small price to pay for selling your house, Nathan. Inside, Nathan thinks he has a solution for storing the hallway clutter. He's found a rather large wardrobe for a rather small space.
Is it going to fit in?
Yes.
Even with the skirting?
By half a centimetre.
Will it go in past the skirting though? What do you want to do?
Come back to your side. It's going to go in absolutely 100% square.
It's square. It's as far this way as it can go.
Can't be.
It is.
It's going to get wedged. It's almost in.
It's just got to get over the step, hasn't it? It's got to get over the step.
The only way it's going to go in is if it was tilted.
No, it's not going in.
It can go in.
After a tiresome battle, it's finally in.
It is in with about 0.5 millimetre to spare, and there's no way that's coming out. So whoever buys our house has inherited a beautiful cupboard with it.
Now it's just a case of finding a place for everything, with 2 children not really helping.
Boys.
Outside, the garden room is having its last tidy up too.
I put the big cupboard in that back wall because it'll make it look really spacious.
Yep.
The gardener is power washing the decking for just £75 for a smart and complete finish.
It's consumed our life for the last week. All the major stuff has been done. I think we've done a good job.
Yeah.
Where coats and hats were overspilling and cluttering the hall, the cupboard has finally given them a home. And with the fridge freezer gone, there's a great sense of space. It looks fantastic. I've got my eye on that cupboard.
know.
You might find that going home in my handbag.
No, it won't. Unless you've got a sledgehammer, you will not be getting it out, I tell you.
That literally makes an enormous difference. I think it looks fantastic. And you've got rid of the freezer.
Yeah, we haven't got rid of it, but
we took a lot of stuff out of the office, but
Yeah.
we put one thing back in it.
What was a forgotten, dilapidated shed is now a warm, welcoming garden office.
Oh my goodness. It's like a different, well, it is a different room.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
How busy have you two been?
I know. Well, it's a proper room now,
Well, it's an
isn't
office,
it?
isn't
Yeah,
it? It's somewhere that you can come and work in peace. Really, really good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm in St Albans, where I'm getting ready to show buyer Lawrence 3 houses, now that the owners have finished their makeovers. Len and Pauline have come round to ditching their regal interior.
I think the changes we've made have made us much more confident of selling.
I definitely think we're front runners.
Maureen has moved the pets, spruced up the sitting room and given the swimming pool area a good old clear-up.
It's much, much better to show people around, especially if they don't have pets.
And Alison and Nathan have hidden the family clutter and utilised the garden room.
I do feel really confident that we're going to sell this house,
no, definitely.
especially looking at what else is out there.
All 3 sellers have been painting, plastering and de-petting their houses in the hope of getting an offer from buyer Lawrence. First house we're at is Len and Pauline's.
So, Lawrence, my lovely, what do you think?
Looks well maintained.
Yeah?
Very nice.
The initial impression is good.
Yes.
Excellent, that's what we like to see. Should we go on in?
Yes.
Let's go.
Thank goodness. I'm hoping his positivity continues when he enters the once busy but now pared back sitting room.
So you are a man that goes with his gut and his instincts. What are your instincts telling you?
You can swing more than the cat around in here.
You certainly can. Do you think the wife would like it?
Yes.
Do you think the wife would keep the carpet?
Definitely not.
You're so on my team.
I told them it had to go, just like the wallpaper in the kitchen.
What do you think?
Yeah, nice.
I think the great thing about this kitchen is there's bags of storage, which a lot of the time in kitchens you don't get.
There really is a lot of potential in this property.
Lovely, lovely.
Looks like Lawrence can really see the potential with this house. I hope it continues upstairs.
So here we go. This is one of 3 good-sized bedrooms, and this is the one that if you wanted to, you could go out at the back and create a big master bedroom stroke ensuite bathroom.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this house. This house has good vibes.
Excellent.
I mean, it's got downstairs. It's huge potential, and you've got the space, and it's clean. You can move straight in,
Yeah.
count your pennies,
Yep.
and see what you can do.
Talking about counting pennies, how much do you think it's on the market for?
I would say between 385 and 415.
375. Few little pennies left over.
Yeah,
Got you thinking, isn't it?
definitely it has.
Good, good.
Sounds like Lawrence is already moving in, but I've still got 2 other properties to show him. And next I'm at Maureen's bungalow.
Now, I know how much you love a bungalow because you're in one at the moment. So this is the next property that I want you to see.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
No.
Straight away?
Straight away. No.
OK, not feeling it.
Well, maybe the sitting room, which has gone from pet hell to peaceful haven, will make a difference.
Not impressed.
OK.
There is only one room.
Yeah,
You know, it's...
that's it.
That is it.
There's the potential to go up into the loft if you wanted to, but that is the unique selling point.
Time for my last throw of the dice. Will Maureen's swimming pool encourage him to take the plunge?
You see, I had visions of you out here in the kind of Del Boy trotter kind of style with your pina colada, your mankini on. Not feeling it?
Nah.
What would you do then?
Fill it in.
Fill it in.
Well, that's clear. Maureen has done a lot to improve this area. Lawrence may not like it, but it'll be the perfect home for someone. I shudder to think what he thinks it's worth.
225.
It's actually on the market at £380,000. I did think you were either going to love it or hate it, and it appears to be the latter. So shall we move on?
Yes.
Let's go.
So Lawrence has loved one house and hated the next, but I still have Alison and Nathan's open plan semi to show him.
So here we are. What are we thinking?
There's plenty of space.
Yeah. The outlook?
Yeah. I mean, it looks, from outside, it looks a nice home. No, good position.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, that's the response I was hoping for. Surely things can only improve when Lawrence sees the new clutter-free open plan layout.
What do you think?
It's a bit spacious.
Is this open plan enough, or would you open it more?
I'd open it more. It's, as I say, you could move straight in, but it does want work on it.
OK.
The doors are not my cup of tea.
You don't like them?
No.
But they're all pine,
I know.
stripped. Not feeling them?
No.
OK.
All going well for the piece de resistance, that once shabby shed, which is now a secret den.
And this room can be used for whatever purpose you want. At the moment, they currently use it as an office. Great for teenage den.
That's brilliant. I was just thinking my son would love this. But as I say, useful for an office as well.
Yeah.
So you get your office away from the home. This is a great feature.
I'm so glad Alison and Nathan spent time and effort in here. The extra room is a real bonus to buyers. Let's see what he thinks of upstairs.
So here's the master bedroom. What you tend to get with this house is you don't get one big bedroom and then two little bedrooms. They're all round about the same size. Does it work as a house for you? Because it is quite a quirky house, this one.
It is. It didn't work when I first came in.
Right.
I mean, you can do things with downstairs and jiggle it about. At the back has done it, I think. And upstairs here is 3 good-sized rooms.
Yeah. And because you haven't got to use one of the rooms as an office, you've actually got 3 bedrooms, haven't you?
Yes. And you're not overlooked.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
All sounding good so far.
This one is at the top whack of your budget, 399,950. So it's 50 quid short. Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, you could move straight into it.
You could.
Let's ponder a while. Back out you go, my lovely. 50 quid to sort these doors out.
Lots to think about. I think we can rule out Maureen's bungalow as an option for Lawrence, but that still leaves Alison and Nathan's spacious house, which was an instant hit, or Len and Pauline's semi-detached house.
What a day.
Oh.
What a whirlwind. Let's start with your least favourite.
Definitely the bungalow.
Yeah, and it was just a no from the outside, wasn't
just
it?
as soon as you walked up to it,
Yeah.
you knew.
Even though you could possibly knock things around and do things, it was just a big no-no, wasn't
No,
it?
definitely
OK, so we'll move that one to the side, which then leaves the post-war semi with the regal carpet and the modern family home. So let's start with the post-war semi. What was it that you liked about that? Because that was an instant reaction, wasn't it?
It felt like a home. You can move straight into it, and that's what my wife wants.
And the modern family home, you had the garden office stroke den at the back that I think really swung it for you.
I mean, the outside looked nice, you know, and the parking at the front for the cars and that, and for my little van is good. And then as you go into the back, and then you've got another room that gives you effectively the 4th bedroom, which I think swings it.
So it's the modern family home that's the clear favourite now?
Yeah.
For you?
For me.
What about your wife?
I would think my wife would go for the first one.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
Who normally wins?
My wife.
So Alison and Nathan are the first choice.
Wow. Oh, brilliant. I'm really happy they picked our house.
It makes you feel like you're doing everything right, so that's all we can do, really. We just have to cross fingers now and hope that we're going to get a good price.
But the others have definitely improved their selling prospects.
I feel a little bit disappointed about coming third because the work we've done in here, I think, is amazing. It has made me feel a lot more confident that I've got more chance of interesting buyers now.
I think now we have got a sellable property, and just all we need now is people through the door.
A few days later, Alison and Nathan received an asking price offer from another buyer. With that one out of the equation, Lawrence had decided to take wife Kim to see second choice Len and Pauline's post-wall semi.
I think if you put nice flooring down, it would open this up completely. But you reckon you could go up on top as well?
They said that there's footings down that you can go up. I'm going to speak to the builder tonight and just get some rough figures off him for a single-storey extension.
And once we've got those, yes, I think we might put an offer in.
Lawrence and Kim did put in an offer of £350,000, £25,000 under the asking price, but Len and Pauline are hoping for the full amount. Maureen's house is still on the market, but at a reduced price of just under £370,000, and hopefully a buyer will come soon.